Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 22, available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? So I just watched Hobbs and Shaw, also known as Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. It stars The Rock, Jason Statham, Vanessa Kirby, Idris Elba, Isa Gonzalez, Helen Mirren, and then The Rock's brothers are played by Cliff Curtis, who was in like Fear the Walking Dead, among other things. Roman Reigns, his real life cousin, also wrestler, plays one of his brothers. And it is directed by David Leitch, who has, I think, co-directed, maybe uncredited, directed, co-directed John Wick. He directed Atomic Blonde, and he directed Deadpool 2. Eddie Marsan is also in it. I knew I forgot somebody. If you want to get a shout out in my review of The Kitchen, because there's like 5 wide releases next week, but I'll probably just see The Kitchen. Stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. So, there is a virus. It can kill a lot of the population. And the only 2 people that can stop this virus from global destruction is Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw. There was a prior engagement with Dominic Toretto and his crew for the first time in the past 18 years. This movie ended up being exactly what I expected. It's Fast and Furious in name only. There are references to the Hobbs and the Shaw interactions in past entries in the franchise, but other than that, there is no mention of Vin Diesel, none of the characters in his crew. There's no setup for Fast and Furious 9, whatever they're going to call it, the 9 of the fate of the faster, who is more furious than who, part 9. It's an action movie with dope tech, dope fight scenes, some hilarious dialogue, and it's a little underwhelming. The back and forth between Jason Statham and The Rock is hilarious. The core central theme of this movie, while they're trying to save the world, and this is the most Fast and Furious part of this movie, the core theme of this movie is still family. Whether it's Vanessa Kirby and her connection to one of the 2 guys, whether it's where the finale takes place connected to one of the 2 guys. Idris Elba was fine as the villain. Look at me, I'm Black Superman. That line was cornball as hell. You have to suspend all belief of reality. This series started going off the rails, not necessarily off the rails, but jumping the shark, as they say, when The Rock was changing the route of a not a missile, not a nuke. I don't know. It's like a warhead. It's like a missile. I just Googled when I did the transition, and I couldn't find the word that I wanted. He rerouted a submarine nuke, and that's when the Fast and Furious franchise, to me, started getting a little too far-fetched for my liking. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all got to suspend reality and what could really happen, man. Because if y'all crying about what's realistic in a Fast and Furious movie, you the same type of motherfucker that was complaining about a Quentin Tarantino movie last week. This one does a lot of that. A lot of it's in the trailers. Idris Elba has this motorcycle that is basically a transformer, and I don't know. Like some of the fight scenes are cool, very well choreographed, very dope, and some of them are just cut so fast, and the camera just moves so rapidly that it's hard to see what's going on. Um, I went in skeptical to this movie because I knew that they were gonna bastardize the whole franchise just for a generic spinoff. And I'm a huge fan of The Rock. I probably say this in every movie of his I review. But I feel like in Fast Five, he was a character. Luke Hobbs was this badass that Dom, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and them just couldn't shake. And Fast Six and every movie after, he's just The Rock. He plays the same character he plays in every other movie. And I don't know, like I was annoyed with this movie. There's some I liked. There's a lot more that just annoyed me. And there are, because I know I gotta tell y'all this because I'm gonna feel like I wronged y'all if I don't. But there are mid-credit scenes and there are a post-credit scene. Sit if you want, but they're pointless. They're just for laughs. They are pointless. They don't set up anything in the future. Maybe a Hobbs and Shaw 2. And there are cameos. There are some hysterical cameos in this movie. I have to say that Isa Gonzalez is in like one scene, maybe two, and she's basically Rebecca Ferguson from Men in Black International. Not necessarily wasted. I think she was used better than Rebecca Ferguson in Men in Black, but she serves the same purpose. And also is Vanessa Kirby. I know they was both in Mission Impossible last year, but is she about to be the new go-to chick for action movies that's stealing all Rebecca Ferguson's flame? Just a question I'm throwing out there. So with all that being said, in my opinion, and I'm gonna try to grade movies a little harder, like really doing math, like what would I give it out of 100, and then breaking it down to 10, then breaking it down to 5, and see if I'm content with that score. I'm content with this score. In my opinion, Hobbs and Shaw is almost dope, because I feel like in the past this is a movie that I just would have called dope because of who's in it and how it affects the franchise. This doesn't really affect the franchise. I'm mad they didn't set up the next movie. That The Rock is supposedly not even in because him, Tyrese, Vin Diesel got this like triangle beef. Well, Vin Diesel and Tyrese got beef with The Rock. But this movie was almost dope. Did somebody drop a comment, man? Did anybody from the franchise go to the premiere of this? I just need to know. And I would not hate a female spinoff. I know that's rumored because Jordana Brewster, Michelle Rodriguez, bring back Eva Mendes. Put Isa Gonzalez in it, put Vanessa Kirby in it. Like, they could do a dope female-centric action movie, and they all just, like, gang up and just jump. It could be 10 minutes, and they just jump Charlize Theron, because she's been the only female villain. Have you seen Hobbs and Shaw? What did you think about it, man? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. If you want that shout-out in my review of The Kitchen, within $2 million higher or lower, how much will Hobbs and Shaw make opening weekend? Be the first, be the closest, get your guesses in by noon Central Time Sunday, and you'll get shouted. I've recently posted reviews for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've recently posted reviews for The Lion King, other July movies, Crawl, Stuber, Spider-Man. Like I said, The Kitchen next weekend. The weekend after that, there's like some combination of like Angry Birds and Good Boys and something else that I want to see that's just not coming to me at this very particular second. Because I know in 2 weeks I got 3 movies I want to watch, and I'm like I said, that other third one just isn't clicking. 47 Meters Down just clicked. Rec League Podcast, 22 episodes in the can, man. Check those out, man. Episode 23 is on the way. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.